Hello students, how are you all? Today we are back to see the sixth part of Russian Revolution. Yes, so we have talked about 1905 revolution, then second February 1917. Now let's talk about what happened after February Revolution. So in my last lecture, I have given all the details about February Revolution. So if you are not clear about it, first listen that lecture and then you will come to know. So let's start our aftermath. What exactly happened after February Revolution? Yes. So see, uh, when the World War is going on, many people from Russia they were against the First World War. They wanted that the Russia should not participate in First World War. The reason behind it is the Russia is already not developed country and already it's losing the war at front, so we should retreat. That was the ideology, or that was the suggestion or thought of many people, even of the soldiers, because Russia was about to get defeated. Keeping this in mind, many soldiers they started their retreat and they supported the February Revolution, how they demolished the buildings, isn't it? So all those things we have seen. So when February Revolution takes place, after that, restrictions removed from Soviets and public meetings. In Tsarist society, there were the restrictions on these Soviets. People can't form their own Soviets. They can't form their unions. Okay, and the public meeting was completely denied. Then Soviets set up everywhere, and the first one was Petrograd Soviet, as I told you in my last lecture. Still, when this Petrograd Soviet was started, there was no system of any common election. All can join Petrograd Soviet. In such a condition, Lenin returns in Russia. As I told you, that in February Revolution there is no leader. Huh? Many people think that Lenin was the leader of February Revolution. No. Lenin was in exile, and when people revolted against the Tsar, then he came from the exile. Actually, while living out of Russia, he was spreading his messages which will inspire the people for the revolution. He had his own newspaper. Its name is Iskara, Iskra. It means flame. Okay, so he was having his own newspaper, and through that he used to give the message to the people, and these journals used to be circulated in Russia so that the people will be inspired. When Lenin returns in Russia in April 1917, he first of all he puts his April thesis. What is the April thesis? First announcement was war should be closed. First of all, war should be stopped. Because of this thought, many people blame Lenin that he is the agent of Germany, but actually he was not. He was very patriot person. Then land transfer to the peasants. Land should be transferred to the peasants because see at that time it was a system that king is like a god, and all the land that we have in our country it is belonged by the god, but he himself can't cultivate it. So he has distributed it to the people and they will take care of him. But it owned by the king. You don't have authority upon that. But when the Tsarist autocracy was demolished, abdicated, at that time there should be one demand of in April thesis that land should be transferred to the peasants. That was the second demand. Third, banks should be nationalized. Earlier they were private. They were held by individuals or group of few individuals. But Lenin says that the bank should be nationalized. And finally, with all these April theses, Bolsheviks, they started their own communist party. Now we have to turn towards the communist state. That was the clarion of Lenin. When all these things are going on, there is one again conflict between provisional government and the Bolsheviks. See, as I told you, there was a split in RSDWP because provisional government says that party should be open to all, whereas radicals, that is Bolshevik, they say that party should not be open to all, it should be restricted only then. the rules and regulation or the change that we want in Russia, it can be brought. That is the biggest difference between this. So, provisional government versus Bolsheviks. In summer, workers' movement was spreading everywhere in Russia, and factory committees, they were starting questioning to the industrialists about their intention. Then trade union, soldiers committees, 500 Soviets representative to all Russian Congress of Soviet. Okay, see, throughout Russia, there was a fury about the people, about the Tsar, and in Duma or in provisional government, still there were people, those who were pro-Tsaris. That's why there was a rage among the people. That's why they thought that we should join Bolshevik party, that is Communist party. So they sent 500 Soviet representatives to all Russian Congress of Soviet. When provisional government comes to know about this, that the force of Bolshevik government, that is Communist party, it is growing, they thought sternly it should be stopped. Otherwise, Communist party will overcome. That's why, what was the reaction of provisional government? Let's talk about this. First of all, see, as you know, after all, military listens to the government, whether it is wrong or correct. That's why all the orders which were given by the provisional government being followed. Of course, they were temporarily followed. Afterwards, this military is going to join Communist Party only. But before that, they resisted attempts of workers to run factories. Then leaders were arrested. Many leaders of the Communist Party, they were arrested. And in 1917, many demonstrations were going on. In July 1917, all those demonstrations, they were repressed. Of course, to repress this, we need police force or military force. So they were asked. That's why, keeping this in mind, many leaders, with the fear of provisional government, they just ran away from Russia or they just hid somewhere. This was going on in urban area. What about the countryside? In countryside, uh, the people, they were very happy that we are getting the land. That's why they were redistributing the land, they were just capturing it. Okay, so you can see there is one picture here, the July days, how a pro Bolshevik demonstration on 17 July by the army, they were just fired up. Okay, so these people in the countryside, they were just trying to capture the land earlier which owned by the Tsar or the nobility. So land committees were formed which will decide whom to give how much land, isn't it? And the peasants seized land between July and September 1917. So Lenin, a Bolshevik image of Lenin addressing workers in April 1917. He was very prominent leader. Behind him you can see there is Stalin and Trotsky, they are standing. Lenin was very prominent leader and all people used to listen to him. So he was very prominent leader and that's why many people from the Russia, they joined Communist Party. So here you can see there are two pictures and how pro Bolshevik demonstrators on July 17 July, they are being fired upon by the army. So this was the condition in Russia in 1917 October. Sorry, in July. Now the revolution of October. See, means from this you might have understood one thing, that after Tsar is abdicated and now the provisional government is running the country. So in such a condition, Bolsheviks and their support is growing. That's why provisional government thinks that Communist Party or the Bolshevik Party, they might overturn us. That's why we have to repress them. And so provisional government asked the military to repress all the activities. So from from April to October, all this repression is going on. Demonstration, workers committees, factories, they are being closed down. Okay, shut down. So when this all was going on, Lenin had fear in his mind that if provisional government start dictatorship, then it will be very problematic for us, and we will never upturn it, isn't it? So what to do? That's why Lenin thinks that there should be a support of military. Lenin's fear of PG's dictatorship, that is provisional government's dictatorship. So he called to Bolshevik supporters for uprising. And so on 16th October 1917, this is very important date, a military revolutionary committee, for our context henceforward I will call it MRC, okay, Military Revolutionary Committee under Leon Trotsky was formed for the seizure of power. And when this incident will take place, when we are going to implement it, it was kept secret. Provisional government didn't know about this, means they knew very well that they are planning something, but when this incident will happen, they didn't know about it. So let's talk about October Revolution now. So provisional government, Prime Minister Kerensky, he was a Prime Minister, PM Kerensky. He summoned the troops to seize the two newspaper buildings. Earlier, do you remember? As I told you, Bolsheviks, they had their newspaper agencies. They spread their newspaper throughout Russia, and that's why the people having the inspiration from these newspapers. So first of all, they should be seized. That's why they summoned the troops to seize two newspaper buildings. Then pro-government troops, they were sent to capture telegram and telegram offices so that there should not be any communication between these revolting troops. Then they called many troops and the soldiers to protect the Winter Palace because they knew very well that provisional government leaders, they were residing in Winter Palace after Tsar. So they will attack on the Winter Palace. So they called cavalry and many soldiers to protect the Winter Palace. So when this was going on, what was the response of Bolshevik Party, Communist Party, or we can say MRC, Military Revolutionary Committee? What was the response of them? Let's talk about it. They seized the government offices and arrested ministers. That was the first task. Then there was a ship. Its name was Aurora. It was in the Neva River and it started shelling at the Winter Palace so that the ministers will come out. Afterwards, they just surrendered. Then other troops, they were sent to capture other military ports on the Neva River. So they just occupied. So all the forces of pro uh, all the forces of the provisional government, they were just captured by MRC. After this, ministers surrender. Okay, but still fight goes on in Moscow. Actually, as you know, Winter Palace is in Petrograd, that is Petersburg. But still in Moscow, it was going on. Many between Bolsheviks and between pro-Tsarist, or we can say uh, provisional government, the fight was going on. In Petersburg, it was stopped, but still till December it went on in Moscow. So in this way, this is what all about the revolution of October 1917. In this revolution, the power was taken away from provisional government by the Bolsheviks and Lenin was their leader. But in this revolution, earlier, if you see in February revolution, they are workers. They are capturing the land. They are doing something without leader. But in October revolution, Lenin is the leader and he is using military force. He communicated with military and he got the alliance as in the form of Leon Trotsky. He helped the Bolshevik government, Communist Party, and that's why using the military force they could capture the Winter Palace. And finally, there was a transfer of the power from provisional government to Communist Party. But still, a big disaster is waiting in Russia, and that disaster is going to destroy Russia in itself. The people of Russia itself, they destroy their own country for the sake of power. What was the next episode for that? Before talking that, let's see this picture. Here you can see when the government means power was seized by the Bolsheviks, Lenin with the workers you can see, and circled area you can see. One of them is Trotsky, right side, and one is Lenin, left side. Okay, so in this way they are standing with the workers at Petrograd. Then I have one information for you. Box 2. Actually, Russian Revolution, the dates that we have today in the history of Russia, the dates are different, and the calendar that we use in our day-to-day life, it is different because Russia followed the Julian calendar. Okay, and we use Gregorian calendar. So Russia followed the Julian calendar until February 1918. The Gregorian dates are 13 days ahead of the Julian dates. So, by our calendar, the February Revolution took place on 12th March and the October Revolution took place on 7th November. But as we are talking about the Russian Revolution, then we have to follow their own calendar, isn't it? So, that's why we call it February Revolution and October Revolution. But if we talk about the Gregorian dates, means that we follow, if we talk in those terms, then you will come to know that October Revolution took place in November and February Revolution took place in March. Yes. So here are some dates, important dates for you. Please note them down. 1850s, 1880s, debates over socialism in Russia that we have seen. Then 1898, formation of RSDWP, Russian Social Democratic Workers Party. Then 1905, the Bloody Sunday, okay, the first revolution in Russia. Then 1917, 2nd March, okay, according to Gregorian calendar, abdication of the Tsar, no, sorry, Julian calendar only. 1917, 2nd March, abdication of the Tsar. Then what happened with the Tsar? It's the next question. He was abdicated. He was not living in the Winter Palace. Afterwards, what happened with him? That I'm going to tell you in my next lecture. Okay. Then 24th October, Bolshevik uprising in Petrograd, that is October Revolution. Then 1918 to 20, these 2 years, there was a civil war. Then 1919, formation of Comintern, and 1929, beginning of collectivization under Joseph Stalin. So I hope till here everything is very clear to you. So all other details about Russian Revolution, what happened after October, what was that disaster that I talked to you about, and what happened with Romanov dynasty, what happened with Tsar and with his family. Were they killed? Were they just guillotined like as it happened in French Revolution? So to know this, let's meet in my next lecture. Till then, thank you so much. Have a nice day.